Well, howdy there, it's Ray, and today we're going to be talking about the November 2nd, 2021 election that occurred. Now, there was a bunch of stuff that was up. There was mayoral elections, there was some House of Representative seats in the United States Congress, some House of Representative seats for state governments, uh, some local ballot issues were up for the grabs, a bunch of stuff. But the main thing that I'm going to be focusing on is Virginia's governor's race and where to move on from here. Now, the race, several sources have already called it for the Virginia governor, or the Virginia Democratic or Republican candidate, sorry. And whenever I started this recording, or trying to, because I'm suck at technology, it was uncalled. But most places have called it for the Republican now. And I guess it was kind of obvious it was going to be a Republican candidate running a Democrat that really didn't seem in touch with his voter base in the state of Virginia and didn't really give them anything to vote for. I mean, if you're looking on the national level, Biden hasn't really done anything. His neoliberal politics have just sat there. Build back better, except, you haven't built back yet. And it's just kind of all of the parts are there. Or maybe not even ordered yet, I guess would be a better way to describe it. And on the local level, it wasn't really favorable for him either. He didn't really have a lot of push. I mean, the only ad campaign that I saw from him was one where he was trying to get Taylor Swift voters to vote. And I think that was earlier this month. But that was the only thing I had seen from him at all during this entire race. And that kind of tells you how unseriously they were taking this race. And they lost it for it, straight up. Now, looking forward, what can progressives, leftists, whatever term used to describe the people who are on the left, what did we do to take over and, try to win? The first thing is you got to push policy that people like, which is not hard for the left. Our policy is, supported by a majority of people. Universal health care, legalized marijuana, paid family leave, dental and vision coverage, taxing the wealthy, pulling out of wars, and decreasing the military and police budget. All of this is super supported by people. And it's not happening. And, that's part of the reason why no one really likes to vote for the Democrats, is because they don't have policy that they like. I mean, Joe Biden basically ran on "I'm not Trump" and managed to crawl his way into the presidency. And he's not going to be able to do that in 2024. I mean, even if Trump does run again, he can't say anything because he would have had the presidency for 4 years and not done anything with it. But the next thing that progressives need to do is on-the-ground activism. Knock on doors. Make phone calls. Do the annoying stuff. Make sure people are registered. We are less than a year from the 2022 midterms, and Democrats could lose both the House and the Senate, which basically means they lose everything, because if Republicans gain the House and the Senate, they're going to block everything that Biden tries to do. We have less than a year until the midterms. Make sure people are registered. Double check, triple check, quadruple check. Whatever you have to do to make sure that people are ready to vote, make sure you can do that. Now, make sure if someone is working and you already voted and you work on the same job as them, make sure to cover their shift or something like that. If they can't vote, if they can't go to person to vote, they are immunocompromised and COVID's still a worry or a concern, then make sure they get mail-in voting. If they're, if they're disabled, if they're sick, or if they just don't really have the time of day to go and vote because it's not a national holiday where you can just get off work and vote, make sure they're registered for that. And this Virginia race was going on last year and all throughout this year, and it snuck up on us. Now, I hope with the midterms being as important as they are, Democrats won't treat it the same way. They'll push and push and push. But I've been in politics for 6 years, and left politics, left-wing, socialist, progressive politics for about 5 of those, and it's not going to happen. They're going to stay the same. That's the whole thing with the Democrats. So it's our job to push and push and push. The Surf's Lance, he did a live stream with some of Canada's left-leaning politicians, and that got the message out, and that was super cool. And people should do that more and more. I don't even know exactly what they can do, but however you can help is what's needed. Georgia in 2020, both the Democrat senator seats and the state as a whole during the presidential election were likely won because of the efforts made by Stacey Abrams. And I don't think that's a controversial thing to say. She got out, she got people registered, she got the voter base fired up, and they knew what they were voting for. And if we had more people like Stacey Abrams on the nationwide front, then we'd be doing good. But with a dirty mix of the Democrats' neoliberal, moderate, center-right at best political views, and the current extreme point where we are in the United States, where people are finally starting to wake up and realize that how bad their conditions are. People are striking, people are demanding better work conditions, and the Democrats, instead of taking that opportunity, are just sitting back and doing nothing, sitting idly by. And I guess that's the whole thing, really. We can't rely on the Democrats to do anything, because they won't. No, they only need they don't need to win by a lot. They need to win by 50 or 51, or lose by some and then say, oh, we'll get them next time, and just kind of play this game where either we can't do anything because there's not a big enough majority, or oh, we can get them next time, please vote for us because we're not the other guys, and not actually put anything in. So, looking to 2024, Biden's presidency relies on the efforts made in the next 9 months, 9, 10, 11-ish months. Well, I don't believe Biden's going to do a damn thing. I think that if progressives and if activists and left-leaning people are all going to push forward, we can at least do something. And every bit helps because, we've been dealing with the friggin' worst people ever. And they're playing a game with what ultimately is people's lives. Like, anti-abortion bills in Texas and anti-trans bills in Arkansas. And all of this stuff is just a game to them. And this is getting a little too ranty. I think I'm just going to end it here. Hope you were willing to listen to the end. If you are, I don't really care if you leave a like or subscribe. It doesn't matter to me. I just hope that the message gets out to mainly to get on the registry, get other people on the registry, be prepared, be out in the field, be the change you want to be, and that's it. I'll see you all later. Goodbye.